Jen had to run off to a meeting, and there's a few things left. I wanted to just let you know that there are a lot of people here who don't have hope. The situation is such that farmers can't make a living growing corn anymore, and so they're coming to the cities, living on the outskirts of the cities in shacks, and selling gum and shoestrings up and down the streets, or they're going north to the U.S. There's a lot of alcoholism right now. The way my friend Jorge talks about it is that the people here that are the poorest of the poor, they're poor in everything. They're poor in initiative, they're poor in vision, they're poor in a sense of community, they're poor in hope, in having hope. And so I think the question for me and for Jen and for those of us living here is, what do we do about that? How can we be hope makers, hope givers in this context? And the same is true for in the States as well. How can we be hope makers? I think of hope makers that inspire me here. There's a woman, Myra, who's a Presbyterian lay pastor in a town about 20 miles from here. She's been working with prostitutes. Her church kicked her out because she was going to workshops where there were Catholics. And she continues to do her work, and she continues to identify herself as Presbyterian. I think of the family that I met about 50 miles down a dirt road that have a roadside store. Tired, yes, but they still refuse to sell alcohol at their roadside store. They could use the money, and if they sold alcohol, that would bring in more money to their family, but they don't want to do that to their community. And I also think about the peasant church leaders that I've met that will come in for a 2-day training on how to talk to their local churches about organic fertilizer, or about how to keep their water supply clean. It's time that they're taking from their own work, from their own families. Sometimes they're paying their own transportation, and yet they maintain this commitment year after year to learn new things and take it back to their community. I guess that's a good model for us here. What can we learn from here about making hope that we can bring back to our community in California? And Odette had said, well, what's a question for us, or something we can reflect and pray on? I think it would be about what is Epworth doing to make hope in our world, and what are each of us doing to make hope in our world. My friend Javier sent me an email yesterday in which he said, well, we've been able to do some things this year, but hopefully next year we'll be able to make even more steps to achieve a little of what we've hoped for. So may we all find our place in 2009 in which we can make some hope, we can make a little bit of difference.